Pope St. Pius V instituted the Feast of Our Lady of Victory, now called the Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary, in order to commemorate the victory at Lepanto, which he attributed to the Blessed Virgin Mary. The victory slowed the Ottoman advance to the west. If the Ottomans had won, they would have attempted to take over Rome and further Turkish power throughout the Mediterranean. Although the Ottoman Empire was able to build more ships after their loss at Lepanto, it never fully recovered. I wish to summarize the events which led up to the battle and why this victory was absolutely necessary. Sultan Suleiman, also known as Suleiman the Magnificent, was very successful in his battles against Christians. Under his rule, the Ottoman fleet dominated the seas from the Mediterranean to the Red Sea and through the Persian Gulf. Suleiman died on campaign against Christians in Hungary in 1566. He was succeeded by his son Selim II, who wished to continue in his father's footsteps as a military leader. On March 15, 1570, Selim II sent Venice an ultimatum: surrender Cyprus or war. The Senate of Venice voted for war rather than surrender. Pope St. Pius V attempted to set up an alliance to help Venice against the Turks. In April, Philip II of Spain agreed to join it. July 1570, the Turks landed on Cyprus with more than 60,000 men. 2 months later, the capital of Nicosia, Cyprus, was taken over. Thousands of Christians were killed and women were sold into slavery. The city of Famagusta in Cyprus tried to defend itself. March 7, 1571, Pope St. Pius V signed the Treaty of Alliance against the Turks, creating the Holy League with Don Juan as his commander. In April 1571, Mustafa and his army of 100,000 landed on Cyprus to take Famagusta, which had only around 4,000 defenders. At Famagusta, the Venetian commander, Marcantonio Bragandino, attempted to repel 4 Turkish attacks, and his army was reduced to 1,800 men. Bragandino surrendered the city August 1st, and the Turks signed a written pledge that they would liberate those inside the walls. The Turkish commander Mustafa violated the surrender terms because Bragandino wouldn't give the commander his page as a hostage. He cut off Bragandino's nose and ears while cautering it to prevent bleeding to death. He was then flayed alive, his skin stuffed and dressed in a Venetian uniform, and dragged through the streets of Famagusta. He ordered the massacre of all the prisoners and inhabitants of the city. Don Juan's fleet prepared for battle with 206 war galleys present at the Sicilian port of Messina. Pius V granted a plenary indulgence to the soldiers and crews of the Holy League and asked all Europe to pray the Rosary for victory. The Turkish fleet of nearly 300 strong was anchored at the harbor of Lepanto, now called the Gulf of Corinth. At 2 o'clock in the morning of October 7, 1571, a favorable wind sprang up, enabling the Christian fleet to enter the Gulf. At dawn, the Turkish fleet emerged. Mass was said on the Christian ships, and priests gave general absolution to the men aboard. Don Juan went from ship to ship saying, "Live or die, be conquerors. If you die, you go to heaven." Then he hung the crucifix on the forward mast of his flagship. After 5 hours of fighting, the Christian victory was overwhelming. 8,000 Turks were killed, 10,000 captured, and 117 of their ships were captured and 50 destroyed. The Christian losses were 7,500 killed, but only 12 ships lost. At the hour of victory, St. Pius V suddenly rose to his feet and interrupted a meeting. Looking out the window, and Mary showed him a vision of victory. He turned to the cardinals present and said, "Let us set aside business and fall on our knees in thanksgiving to God, for He has given our fleet a great victory."